Hello there, Internet. Short of the Max Extreme here.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
And together we are IMPERIUS REX.
That's right. Talking about a very special wedding-themed wrap-up to Tom King's Batman Rebirth. Thanks, doll.
You're very welcome, babe. So yeah, this is our second part of our Tom King run. If you're paying attention, trades 5 through 7. Join us with some bubbly, will you? We'll be back right after the break.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Welcome back, everybody, as we wind down the celebration with our final episode of our Batyear run. So we're on the last chunk of Tom King's Batman Rebirth, and we went all out.
That's right. Spare no expense.
Dressed to the nines.
That's right.
I should do a quick shout out to Heather, a friend of the family, who was nice enough to loan
That Joelle Jones dress.
That's right. Yep, it is. It's made it to 2 proms and now a wedding. So, thank you for that.
I would also like to thank my wife for this stunning velvet coat, which I've grown too fat for, but I'm wearing for this anyway.
Ooh,
It's very nice. It was
nice.
It was a New Year's present.
looks hot.
It is, and tight, but
That's all right.
we all look good regardless of our body types.
Exactly.
So let's jump into Volume 5. Rules of Engagement.
Oh man, Batman on a horse. One of our
Favorite
favorite
things.
things this Batyear.
No, it's also one of my favorite things. Joelle Jones jumping on art. And I've also found it that it's now a current theme. Anytime Joelle Jones is on a book, we're dressed up.
Yes. Yep, that's right. We try to look our best.
We
for
roll
her.
out. I mean,
She's a classy lady.
She is. So we roll out the red carpet for Joelle at any time.
That is right. Oh my God, she is stunning on this.
Yeah.
Both as a person and her work itself.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Her art on these first few issues, I loved how all the Robins all looked different.
And they're all continuing their like bickering, playful personalities.
Right.
I love that Damien is reading the Lady Killer murders of 1961. So a little callback to Lady Killer, the book that we reviewed of Joelle's earlier this year. Great book. But the meat of the story, Bruce and Selena on horseback in the desert, heading to Talia al Ghul.
That's right.
Man, she's been prominent
The
this
Al
year.
Ghul, Talia especially.
Yes.
All up in our business.
That's
right.
right. No longer beloved.
Oh no. No.
On the outs.
And at first you're like, why would they ever want to do this?
Yeah. Let's bring the fiance to the crazy ex-girlfriend. You know, the one that's been brought back to life repeatedly until it corroded her mind.
Right. The one I have a kid with.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, that old chestnut.
So yeah, they go to her fortress. They fight a lot of guards along the way.
Yep.
And most importantly, they look dynamite in their matching desert gear.
Oh my God, desert gear was on point.
It was right out of BVS. You know, he's got the goggles, he's got the scarf and the coat.
The trench, yeah.
It looks so hot.
Oh yeah, very much so. So hot indeed that they already lost a horse in the beginning few pages.
So they get there, they get to Talia, who is hiding Holly.
Yeah.
Well, Holly makes another appearance.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I really don't. I guess
Like
it was
for
the one...
asylum? She just went to wherever They are. It's not Nanda Parbat. I know that.
No, it's a place where King made in his Grayson run, because they make reference to that when Grayson was in Spiral.
I forget he did that.
Yeah, so he there's this place here was a big part of that run, and it's like almost like a sanctuary where the superheroes aren't allowed to go in.
But not Sanctuary.
But not Sanctuary.
The
what
other
is
Tom
a
King thing.
type of sanctuary.
Yes, all right.
Where the Justice League are not allowed in, and they make that point where Batman's like, I know the rules. I made the rules.
And I'm breaking them.
And
along with any backs that get in my way.
So I guess she found it like an asylum there where, well, nobody's going to follow me in here. Turns out she was wrong.
That's right. Batman, Catwoman, horse.
Right.
All right. So then we get like 2 issues of just straight up sword fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Like good old Indiana Jones.
Right. Oh, yeah.
What do you call the head wrap that they wear? Balaclava?
Oh, yeah, balaclava. Yeah,
Bunch of balaclava goons.
Yep. I love that.
Bunch of those pointy swords.
Oh, yeah, the big Arabian swords.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yep.
They do a sword fight up like a spiral outside staircase.
Absolutely.
Like some Errol Flynn type shit.
Yep. Yep. And, it comes down to Selina and Talia fighting while Batman's just, like, licking his wounds in a corner. Mm-hmm. And Selina gives her a run for her money.
Right.
Whips her ass.
Right.
Yep.
And at first, Talia's like, do you even have an experience with a sword?
Yeah.
And I like the whole thing where Catwoman's like, I can give it a shot, and it turns out she's pretty good at it.
Exactly. Yep. Batman and Catwoman's relationship really grew on me over the course of this. Mm-hmm. When I heard originally that like the entire run is those two as a couple, it's like, I don't know if I like that. I don't want Batman nailed down.
Right.
But I really came to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Even the Bat-Cat that they call each other, at first kind of got on my nerves, and by the end of it, loved it.
Yeah, I didn't mind it whatsoever at all.
So it ends with them getting Holly. Mm-hmm. It doesn't go into any more detail than that, other than, like, I guess between issues, they clear Selina's name, and they're good to go. Yeah. They're ready to get this show on the road.
Right. I think that puts Holly back in Arkham.
Yes.
Which that will come up later. But that's pretty much Joelle Jones' little chunk right there, that whole little stint. It was marvelously done. It reads so fast because her art is so kinetic.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yep.
All we
Only
do is
3 issues. I want more.
Yeah.
Luckily, there is more.
Yeah. But that jumps into, I think this is the Super Friends 2-parter, illustrated by Clay Mann, who is now doing Heroes in Crisis.
Yep. Can I be so bold as to say this is my favorite 2 issues?
Be bold. I command it.
My favorite 2 issues of the entire run.
This is, I would agree with you almost wholeheartedly. If it's not my favorite, it's up there. This was so fun and such just a breath of fresh air and just not any real strife going on. It's like Batman trying to pick out his best man.
The main strife occurs in like 1 page where they both, Superman and Batman both end up at the same villain and knock him out in like 2 seconds, and then they're like, date night?
Right.
But yeah, the lead up is neither Bruce or Clark want to call the other one to congratulate or inform them of the engagement.
Right.
So they're like, no, he's busy. Like, oh, he can get here in 2 seconds. He can fly. Like, and their wives and fiancés are like, why don't you call him?
Right.
Selina's like, he's your best friend.
Right.
And Batman's like, no, Gordon's my best friend. She's like, Gordon doesn't even know your name. He's like,
Alfred's my best friend.
She's like, you pay Alfred. It's like, what, so I shouldn't pay him? You seen how many cucumber sandwiches he makes? There's a lot of references to Alfred's cucumber sandwiches. It seems like it's a problem. So they get there, and it's like a superhero theme night. So they have to be in costume. So they leave, and the girls are like, guys, we have costumes right here. Like, we want to go in. We're hungry. The women are hungry. So they're like, all right. And they all swap costumes. So Batman is dressed as Superman. Superman is Batman. Lois is Catwoman. And Catwoman as a person.
Right.
The reoccurring question of if Bruce could hit a pitch thrown by Superman. And they just keep going back and forth on that. And Superman's like, I appreciate your resilience, Bruce, but it's impossible.
Right.
I'm Superman. I can throw it faster than light. Batman's like, I always prepare.
Yeah. I know at some point that ball will break through
Yes.
sheer velocity and speed alone.
Yeah.
So yes, I can't only throw it so it's fast. And he's like, thinking all this thing over. It was pretty great.
Yeah, and they're talking about each other's symbols. He's like, the S stands for hope. And Batman's like, the bat stands for a bat. And even before they get there, they're each talking to their respective other about, like, oh, he's the greatest man in the world.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
he's a better person than me. You know, his background, his origin, he's come from so much. Like, he's overcome all this adversity.
Right.
And they're each talking each other up. So you get an idea of, like, how much Batman and Superman respect the other one. But they never say it to their faces.
Right. Yeah.
And then when they finally meet up, they're like, oh, hey, what's up? You here to fight this guy? Want to go get a snack?
Yeah.
And it ends in the best way possible. They get to a dugout. Superman throws that pitch, and Batman knocks it out of the park.
Yep.
Amazing.
It was great.
So good for a Batman book.
An amazing wrap up to those 2 issues.
Yep.
Oh my god.
I didn't need to see the outcome.
Right.
I would have been fine with them just at the ballpark. But to end on this full splash page of Batman knocking it towards the
Cracking it
camera,
out. Yeah.
you're like, god damn Batman. Love it.
He's the goddamn Batman.
He sure is.
So this whole trade, as much as I loved it, doesn't really forward progress a story so much.
No.
It like sits in this moment in time where you're kind of just stewing on everybody's kind of relationship.
It's a lead up to the wedding.
Right.
Where they're just kind of having fun.
Yeah. And I really like it. But that leads right into volume 6.
There's also this annual where...
Oh, go ahead.
Should we throw that in?
Yeah, go ahead.
So to round out this collection, there is an annual, a very well-received annual, which shows Batman and Catwoman growing together over time until they reach old age. And eventually Batman learns he's dying. I think of cancer or something like that. And it's just this kind of touching goodbye where you're not sure if it's canon. You know, it's a possible future
Right.
of Batman accepting his death and having to leave Selina, but still planning for everything and having this note and this
Right.
cute little kitten waiting for her to
Yeah.
keep her company. And it also kind of shows their relationship over time, how Catwoman first met Batman by breaking into his house and leaving mice all over, saying that he was like a mouse and she was training him to be better. So it was kind of an interesting back and forth between past and future and their relationship, and you kind of get the possible outcome of that. Bruce's eventual death.
Yeah.
One of many that could possibly happen.
Right.
If you've... I don't think Neil Gaiman hit that one up, but beats being tied up on a couch and bleeding out. But it was good. It was just a little like one-off type of thing that was very moving, captured the characters and their love very well.
But that'll lead us into volume 6.
I need a little more bubbly.
You got it, babe.
Oh.
Volume 6, Bride or Burglar? Let me get you
a little bit on there. I can't believe you didn't spill this or knock anything over with that cork. So this is the thing I was most fearful of this entire episode.
I knew that was going to be the case. I was very
most on edge. Now we can just relax and enjoy the ceremony. All right. This one got dark quick. The Origin of Bruce Wayne is the first issue of this. And you're thinking, well, we already know Bruce Wayne's origin. Well, there's another Bruce Wayne. Another kind of spoiled rich kid who has everything, including dead parents.
Yep.
And a manservant. And a persona for vengeance.
Quite. First of all, it's a Victor Zsasz kind of detective story where Batman believes that he's the culprit behind this boy's death.
Yes.
Or the boy's parents' death, rather.
Yeah.
All those clues led him to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Where it was...
Then he thinks it's Two-Face.
Right.
But it's not.
Because, like, the duplicity of the things, and it's not Two-Face.
And I love it. Bruce just wakes up in the middle of the night, and he's like, I've got it! And bolts out of the room, and Selina's just laying there in bed, like, just gonna sleep this out, Bruce. And then, as it turns out, the boy himself ordered the murder of his parents because he wants to be like Bruce Wayne,
Yeah.
overcoming tragedy
Right.
and like being this great philanthropist, whatever.
Right.
And Batman finds him carving Thomas and Martha into the kid's own face.
Right. Horrific.
Yeah.
Quite a departure from the last trade.
Yes. Yeah. This kid could come back. He's got Bruce's parents' names carved in his face.
Who knows if he ever will? I would assume maybe Tom King will reference back to it, or anybody else that wants to be right for the picking. Here he is. But
He just got the origin of parents' face. Batman's strangest foe. So after that, we get a lighter, but still fairly sentimental.
Yep.
Follow-up to the Super Friends arc.
Mhm.
This is Super Friends Wonder Woman.
Yep.
With Joelle Jones returning on art duties.
Uh-huh.
First time drawing Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Looks spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
True goddess.
Mm-hmm.
And she calls up Batman. She's like, hey, remember that deal we made a while back?
Mm-hmm.
We gotta follow through on it.
Uh-huh.
And it's basically they ran into this guy named the Gentleman, who's this kind of immortal warrior who's been holding back the forces of darkness from our realm for eternity.
Mm-hmm.
He just fights them nonstop forever.
Yeah.
And Bruce, probably offhandedly, never thinking he'd take him up on the offer, it's like, hey, you ever need a break? Let us know. Give me a call. Well, he called, and they're both like, shit. Okay.
So they go.
Yep.
They give him a break. Turns out the Gentleman has an earthly beginning
Yeah.
where he has like a wife
Yeah.
of sorts where he comes to see from time to time, but time doesn't work the same
No.
here.
It's a very interstellar type of thing.
Minutes on the earthly plane is like years in the other realm.
Yeah.
So Batman and Wonder Woman are continuously fighting these hordes, called the Horde,
Yep.
for years.
37 years, I think.
Uh-huh.
Just the two of them.
Yeah.
Eating dead horde corpses
Yeah.
and fighting
Mhm.
in bat armor. That looks great.
And even though Catwoman says it kind of looks kind of corny.
Yeah. Come on. It looks great. He looks great.
But while there too, you would assume that over the 37 years, you can't just not get close to somebody.
Yeah.
So there is a brief moment of lapse where they never follow through with it.
No.
But
It's on
Batman,
the table.
Batman and Wonder Woman could jump into bed with one another at any given point in time.
37 years.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
I would say it's forgiven. Selena.
Just thinking about that too much would drive me crazy. Like being at a place for a lifetime, pretty
Yeah.
much.
You're with her longer than you've been with Catwoman.
Mhm.
He's only known Catwoman for maybe 5 years.
Yeah. So that's pretty nuts. And
Uh-huh.
that time they don't age while they're there either. So that's a whole thing. They can come back looking just the same.
Still looking great.
But they come back and Batman still has the guilt of something that happened to him 15 years prior. That he
Yeah.
had this one moment of
Weakness.
weakness, and he had to divulge it to Catwoman when he got back.
Yeah, she even says 37 years with a Wonder Woman. Have you been bad, Bat?
It's like, well, there's this one time where I thought about doing something.
I could have been better.
It's like, okay, then be better.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the
And
whole
that was it.
long short of it. But on the other hand,
Luckily, Catwoman is there to get the Gentleman back.
Mhm.
Because he was ready to, hang
kick
out,
his feet up and
take it
stay.
the show. Yeah. Yeah, and he didn't even tell him up until, a couple of hours had passed.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Kind of a creep, but at the same time, you feel for him.
I don't necessarily think he's a creep. More or less, he's like, I need some kind of reprieve here.
Yeah.
This sucks. My life sucks.
Mm.
And all I want to see is one person.
Yep, his wife.
And the whole time, you got this bitch Catwoman behind him like, we gotta go.
Yeah. Yep.
So, regardless, it's with spending time with him, and while he is meeting up with his wife there, she finds, a balance of what a relationship really is.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the takeaway of this whole thing.
And then from there, we get Everyone Loves Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
This book is kind of a collection of very short ones, like
Yep.
maybe 1 to 2 issues.
Yep.
And this one is Poison Ivy dealing with the guilt of killing that park full of goons in the War of Jokes and Riddles. And we find out that she didn't. She just wrapped him up, and then Riddler came back and killed him later.
Popped them all off, yeah.
Which seemed really weird and unnecessary.
Yeah.
But she's taken over the world, basically, and everyone is under her control, like as pod people, like Invasion of the Body Snatchers type of thing, except for Bruce and Selena.
Yeah, I thought about it was like that one episode of Rick and Morty where Rick goes and visits a girlfriend, she has the whole world under her control.
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah.
But eventually they find Harley Quinn is like the only person that can snap her out of it. Because Harley and Ivy are pretty much an item, right? Is that what it is in current continuity at this point?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't really deliberate if it was that or if they were just like super close with one another.
Yeah, because like everyone
really
loves Ivy because of her power.
Right.
And Harley is insane. So who knows if the love is real, but they have a connection.
Right.
She kind of snaps her out of it. And the world recovers, I guess. But while it's under Ivy's control, everything's wonderful. Obviously, there's no war or anything, but it's because everyone's Ivy. I love when she's controlling Superman, she punches Batman and just fucking kills him.
And realizes, I've made a huge mistake.
Yes.
Totally Joe Bluths it.
Yes. Yeah, knocks his mask, like, to pieces.
I also like, too, in this, that you got to see, like, other DC Universe characters that you don't really get to see a lot. You got to see both Wally Wests there.
Oh, yeah. Catwoman knocks one of them out, right?
Yeah.
Just lays him
all
flat.
3 of them out.
Oh, yeah.
Barry and both the Wallies.
Yep.
And then you also got to see the Superman of China in this, too.
Yeah. I forget
which I thought was cool.
Around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And also when Batman rescues Harley, they're driving, she shows up to Ivy, and Harley says something like, Batman has a machine to put on his pants in his car.
That is insane.
Yeah, I love that. That's our biggest takeaway of the entire ordeal. And then the last issue is another Catwoman and Batman through the ages, telling their relationship, their first encounters, while Selena breaks into a dress factory and is searching for that perfect dress. You know, that Joelle Jones exclusive.
She could have done that thing where she just comes up to the glass and does like this
scratch. Yes. Yeah. No, I'm gonna some heavy C4 will get me in here.
Come right up to the floor.
Come through the sewer, stinking of sewage and poop, and then go roll around in a bunch of dresses.
I did like that panel though, where she's like laying in the dress shop chair. And she's like kicking off her boots.
Yep,
that was really good.
The body language that Joelle Jones brings is perfect.
Yeah,
none of them are like posed. They're all very realistic.
Right, it's supreme.
Yeah, breaks into the store fridge, gets out a bottle of champagne, and is just like walking around shopping. Yep, and then she finds one that catches her eye. This is as close as we could get here, but you know, we're not made of money. But yeah, it was a good one. And I'm glad she came back to draw that because no one draws Catwoman as good as Joelle Jones does.
Yeah. So
I guess now we're on to Volume 7, The Wedding. We're gonna get there unless anyone has any objections.
Jeez, what
good
good timing.
Yeah, better pick that up.
I wonder who this is.
Hey, Dave and Troy, what's going on, man? I'm gonna put you on speakerphone. Hang on.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Who are Dave and Troy?
They're the guys from IMPERIUS REX. You remember the Halloween special? They made fun of me. Sorry, guys. Listen, I know that you're doing a whole Batman special where you wanted to ask people what their favorite Batman stories are, so we thought we'd chip in, you know?
Oh, it's a good thing we have our favorite Batman stories right here.
Oh, who would have thought that? How convenient. So I guess I'll start. My favorite is The Dark Knight Returns. This is no secret. No one's surprised by this. Certainly you guys
What a
aren't.
shock.
I know. Written by Frank Miller and drawn by Frank Miller with inks by Klaus Janson, colors by Lynn Varley. This is, for me, one of the best Batman stories ever. You need to know Batman first. I wouldn't be like, okay, you want to know who Batman is? Buy this. But I'd say this is one of the best Batman stories ever written. Such that it's one of those few that I went out and got like it signed by Frank Miller and Klaus Janson. I don't think I'll ever meet Lynn Varley, but either way, And this is beat to shit. It's not even a first printing. And
Oh
it's
no,
still,
you've just read it so much.
I've read it so much. This is the one that was handed to me as a 13-year-old boy. My comic book retailer was like, "Ah, you're 13? Well then, apparently you're a man now. Here you go." That'll be $25. Like,
Right.
he's still
It's not a
charging
gift,
for it.
yeah.
If you're going to the end of Batman,
Yeah.
we should also talk about the beginning of Batman. Batman Year
Oh,
One.
How convenient.
Also written by Frank Miller, but with David Mazzucchelli as well.
Yep.
Just an amazing, fun story about Batman starting out, being like, I have to fix Gotham.
Yeah.
I have to stop crime and do whatever I can to make this city better.
Right.
And Gordon's like, I'm gonna do the same in an entirely different way.
Exactly. No, that's a killer Gordon story, but it's got some really cool Batman stuff in there too.
And at the end, they end up friends.
Yeah.
How great is that?
nice is that?
I picked Killing Joke.
Oh, that's a big version.
This,
of the book.
yes, this is an awesome, what is it, absolute Batman Killing Joke?
Yeah.
It's comically large.
It's a classic, of course, by Alan Moore and Brian Boland on art.
Yeah.
This book is, I haven't read that many Batman books,
Right.
but this is my favorite of the ones I've read, and I know it's a lot of people's
It's fair.
definitive Joker story.
Oh yeah, no question.
It tells the origins of the Joker. It's very efficient.
Right.
You know, it gets a lot of storytelling into a small amount of space, which,
Yeah.
you know, Alan Moore is
No
going to do that
question.
for you.
And that edition has like a script, so you can see just how much
Yes.
poured into it.
It's also got both the original coloring, which is great, and the new coloring,
Which is not.
which is well, you know,
Which
it's
kind of isn't.
it's not for me.
Subjective, I guess?
Yeah, this is really cool. We just discovered this a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
The original version is also on like an older style of paper too.
Oh,
which,
that's why
like,
it looked
in
yellow.
the same book. It's got like multiple different kinds of paper, which is just really cool.
Yeah, the
Like,
amount of detail.
They put a lot of work into this book.
Because they know that it's
Yeah.
one of the most quintessential Batman stories, and it's
Yeah.
worthy of celebration. It's
Yeah.
one of your favorites.
It's very well written,
Yeah.
which is, you know, I like that. And the art's gorgeous as well. Everything in it is just like spectacular.
Yeah. There you go, gentlemen. That was our our favorite Batman stories of all time. Hopefully you can use this for whatever video you're making about Batman. Listen, thanks a lot for taking our call. We do appreciate it, man. And of course, if you want to watch something really cool, you should go over to youtube.com/comic-pop and check us out, where we talk about all kinds of things, including Batman.
Guys?
Hello?
Guys? No, I think they hung up on you.
Oh, they did. Son of a bitch. Making fun of me.
All right, yeah, thanks for calling in. That was fun.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the last order of business.
Let's top us.
Polish this off.
Yep.
Top me off there, babe.
You got it.
All right.
Oh. Oh!
It's all right.
Waterproof.
Yeah.
Scotch guarded the whole room.
We knew this would happen. We're winding down Batyear, people. It's going to get a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, crazier than... Sorry, Heather. All right. So, the wedding. The big deal.
That's right. Bells are ringing.
That's right. That's right.
This one starts out with a Booster Gold centric story.
Yep. I would say this one cements Booster Gold as the most horrible villain in the entire run.
Okay, thank you, because I was reading this. I couldn't quite get into these Booster Gold issues because I felt like his character wasn't on point. You know, like
It seemed pretty on brand of Booster Gold to me.
I just felt like he was super annoying in this, more so than ever. Because I usually really like Booster Gold.
I loved him in it, but he's a scumbag. I thought it was just Booster Gold.
But anyway, his whole thing is that he wants to give a wedding present because he heard about the nuptials that are going to happen.
That's right. And he had an idea from reading that Alan Moore Superman comic, what to get for the man who has everything.
All right.
And thought he'd make an equally awful present.
Yeah.
He was going to gift Batman with a glimpse into the future to see what would happen if his parents weren't killed in that alley.
Yeah.
So Batman knows that the present is the way things ought to be.
Right.
And
Horrible.
boy,
Horrible.
worst wedding gift of all time.
Just now, just getting into it as lightly as we are, I'm liking it a little bit more. Maybe it's just because, on hindsight, I was like, all those are kind of fun. But, like, reading it, I didn't have so much fun.
This is the darkest thing Tom King has ever written, I would say. Those last, 3 pages
Yeah.
are just... I mean, I don't know how many times we could say Tom King strives on trauma.
But he really out Tom King himself.
He finished that and said, "King me." And then he has a checkers piece that he places on the book for just such an occasion. So we get a glimpse into the future, given to us by Booster Gold and Skeets. We get Dick Grayson as a malicious Punisher-inspired Batman. Selena Kyle as a mute, crazy person.
Yes.
There's a Joker virus sweeping Gotham City, causing people to kill themselves, which we first see through Green Lantern just blowing his brains out with the ring.
Right. Which I had no idea what was going on at that point. I really like that whole dialogue. It's like, the ring won't let you kill you, but if you have strong enough will, you can get through it and will through it. And then he blows his brain out, and Booster Gold's just like, Jesus, and like blood splats all over his face.
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Which then mirrors the end of this little run too.
Oh yeah, it
with
does.
the same little thing where, at the. Do you just want to jump?
We'll get there.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll build to it. Okay.
Or we'll forget entirely. So, if it didn't have Booster Gold's hilarity, this would be unreadable.
Sure.
But he is just bumbling through this whole thing, and I thought he was great. There's a part where he like gets imprisoned and locked away.
Yeah.
And him and Skeets finally cross paths when he gets out. And Skeets is like, "Where have you been?" Booster's like, "I was crazy." And Skeets is like, "Oh, did you get better?" And he says, "I don't know. Probably not." And off they go. He's just trying to show regular Bruce Wayne that this life sucks by kind of orchestrating this like Rube Goldberg device of tragedy that's going to befall him at the end. And it all culminates in Bruce, as an adult, having to witness the murder of his parents from the past. He like goes back in time and sees the birth of Batman by having his parents shot. And then Bruce kills himself. Adult Bruce kills himself. And then we get back to the present and Booster's like, "So what'd you think? You made the right decision, huh? Boy, this blood won't come off my goggles. Oh, I'm really scrubbing it, but it's in there. Wow, that just doesn't come out. What do you think?" And Bruce and Selena are just like,
See, I guess I didn't read it like that. I read it as Booster Gold was traumatized by that situation, and so when he's back there, he's like, "So I'm glad we're back. I can't get the blood off these goggles." And then like he freaks out and he's like, "It just won't come off. It won't come off." That's how I read it.
Okay,
like,
that could be
what
too.
a dark ending.
And they're both like, "Should we go?"
Just they slowly back out of there.
Which again sets up for Heroes in Crisis. The Ivy story does too. They talk about Sanctuary, where these heroes that are traumatized as a result of being in Tom King Works could go to this farmhouse and get better. It's like a trauma counseling center. So he plants a couple seeds here, and I'm assuming Booster makes a beeline for that place after what he just goes through.
Followed by
yes,
another real page turner. It was a Joker-centric story. About being the best man. Or something like that.
And it starts out with a quick little like 6-page prelude that was collected in like a DC Nation Zero issue, where he just goes to a random guy's house, shows up and says, "I'm waiting for an envelope. I'm supposed to be invited to the Batman's wedding."
I like this, actually.
And they just sit there, and this guy's like freaking out, like, "Just kill me already! What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And you don't know what Joker's whole deal is. He's like, "No, Batman has to send me an invitation, and he has to send it to a house. Why not this house?" And they just sit there, and this guy is just like on pins and needles, like full of anxiety, doesn't know what to do. And then like the mail arrives. Joker picks it up. He's like, "Oh, I can't wait to go." Boom! Kills him. Throws the envelope down. It's like a note from school, like the guy's daughter. And then leaves. So the entire thing, for nothing. Joker
just to
is
show
fucking insane.
But it was illustrated by Clay Mann, so it all looked really good.
Sure did.
I would also like to say that Tony Daniel came back to do the previous Booster Gold arcs.
Yeah, he
too,
did. I
so
completely forgot that.
Yeah.
That was good.
real
Yeah.
top-notch stuff. Then that leads into another Joker story
Yeah.
where it was a real laugh riot.
Nothing like a good wedding massacre.
God, that was dark.
Yes.
Like, the whole Joker breaking into a wedding and just murdering everybody in it.
Opens with a guy praying for his soul as you hear gunshots and screams in the background, and then Joker just kills him.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Terrible.
You can't get behind this Joker.
And then
He's no fun.
by the time Batman does arrive, which was Joker's plan, it's like, hey, I couldn't find you, so I know if I do this, you'll come to me.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so he's like, he takes the bride, who is not yet dead,
Yeah.
has a gun to her head, is like, I got a hostage, don't move, boom, and like blows her head off, and Batman's just like, oh, Joker, you're up to your old tricks. At that point,
Old
Batman
jokes.
should have grappling hooked through his face.
Yes.
Like, this is the kind of shit that I'm like, why does he put up with it? And maybe that's like good on King for actually putting it like in this perspective. Like,
It
yeah,
makes
they
you-
do horrible things. That question should be raised.
It doesn't make you really side with Batman.
No, it doesn't. Not at all. But like,
And then Joker, without a hostage, makes himself a hostage.
Right.
And Batman, like, caters to his demands.
Right.
He's like, don't shoot. Don't shoot.
whoa, that guy's crazy. He'll shoot.
I know. It's like, Batman, you have an out. Your whole, I'm not going to kill you, but I won't save you thing,
Right.
made for this. Just
Move all the inches you want.
Yes. Oh. So then they just kind of chat a bit. And then they sit down and kneel before the cross. Joker opens up to Batman, and then they're blown up because Joker's like, oh yeah, I put a bomb on the altar.
Silly me, forgot.
all these murders clouded my memory. And Catwoman shows up then. And her and Joker fight for a bit, and then they're both essentially left bleeding out in a pile of rubble.
Right.
And the whole issue is those two talking. And this is great. This is one of my favorite issues,
Yeah.
too. Those two kind of talking back and forth about their past, how he's adamant that he's going to kill her, even though he's enjoyed their time together here.
Quite.
They really like this talk they had, because she is going to take the essence of Batman away by making him happy.
Right.
And Batman has to be upset or else he's not Batman. And without Batman, Joker said, I'm gonna kill everyone. Like, I can't control myself. Batman is like the only thing that balances me out. And you almost feel like Joker doesn't really want to be this psycho killer. He
Right.
wants Batman to keep stopping him. He does this because it's fun, but like he knows deep down inside, like, I'm a pretty sick guy. So if you take Batman away, I'm gonna be unleashed on this city, and that's not good for anybody.
Yeah, I did like that last ending too, where they're just lying in the rubble. Both of them hand on their wounds to try to like hold it shut so they don't bleed out. So
Yeah.
they're just laying there for hours.
Yep. Yeah, Joker's like, I'm gonna have to kill you, but if I do that, I'm gonna have to take my hand off my wound and I'm gonna pass out.
Right.
And then at the end, he's like, well, let's give it a shot. And then he passes out, thankfully.
Yeah.
But Selina's left with that seed of doubt in her mind, like, oh shit, am I gonna wreck Batman?
Yeah, or maybe Joker does know him more than I do. But I guess that doubt does play into the actual wedding issue.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it comes full-fledged. Yeah. And then Batman wakes up and he's like, ugh, what'd I miss?
Yeah, took a snooze back there.
Yeah.
Under some rubble. I don't know if you saw me.
I get the best sleep under rubble.
So then that brings us to issue 50, the finale of our Batyear extravaganza.
That's right. And our second look at issue 50, because when this came out, we did a special episode on it.
Right.
Where we read it blind, having not read any of Tom King's stuff.
Yep.
I think I can speak for both of us. We were a little underwhelmed, maybe, by it.
Yeah, I guess we both didn't know what to expect, but yeah,
Right.
it left us like, there wasn't really much there.
Yep. Which goes to show you can't just pick up. You can't just
Right.
jump in at issue 50.
Right.
You gotta see
Who
it
would've
through.
thunk?
Yeah. 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 But you heard it, like, the overall reaction was like, there's nothing. It's like, well, that's because no one read it from the beginning, and it
Right.
does tell a long story.
Right.
So, on second glance, it's very powerful and important to this run.
Very much so.
And again, another throwback to their first meeting, where they talk in depth about their eyes. So Bruce remarks on Selena's eyes as being very green, they can't be figured out, and because of that, she doesn't hide them. She has them fully revealed. She remarks on Batman's eyes that they have the pureness, the pure blueness of a boy, a young boy, and that is why he covers them. Because it has the look of someone longing for help. And he can't be Batman like that. He's not going to strike fear into anyone's hearts,
With
looking
those
like
baby
a
blues.
poor untarnished boy. So that is how they see each other there. And she comes to the conclusion that she can't make him happy.
Right.
Because then she will be killing Batman.
Right. Exactly.
Batman has to be unhappy.
Right. Well, and it's also set up, too, if she takes away Batman, then what does he have left? Because we've also found out earlier in Tom King's run, he just is Batman. Bruce Wayne is really not a person.
Yeah, he killed Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Way back when in I Am Suicide.
Right.
Yeah.
So, really, she would just be destroying everything by being with him.
Yep. And she doesn't like this. She doesn't like this realization. Holly, her maid of honor, also kind of brings this up. And it finally all hits her. And she leaves him at the altar, which is just a random building downtown.
Right.
I think it's Finger Building or Kane Building or something.
Right.
So Bruce shows up after making Alfred his best man, getting a drunk judge to proceed on the ceremony. And he's there waiting for her, and she doesn't show, and he's like, kind of figured this would happen.
Right.
Off I go, and he jumps off the building.
Tuxedo.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. I mean, that's the eventual wrap-up of this. That the long story Tom King has been telling is Batman exists through that tragedy.
Yep.
And to change that will alter him being Batman.
Yes. It had a ton of superstar entries and like big, huge splash pages here and there, which were really great. Got to see people that we saw through his series already come and do like a big splash. Big creators such as like Neil Adams, Frank Miller did some pages.
Yeah, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone did this. And they were great. Like all the pictures were fantastic. Great issue to do it in.
But it ends up wrapping up with Holly going back into Arkham. And then
She had a day pass.
right, she got paid off by some guard or whatever to leave for the afternoon or the evening or whatever it was.
Yep.
Sneaks her way back in, only to come across the master planner all along, which is Bane. On his throne of skulls.
He shipped it in from his island. Fully clothed this time, but still got the skulls.
Throne of Skulls from Santa Prisca. And then a bunch of other villains surrounding him.
A weird smattering of them.
But people that we've seen throughout, which make kind of sense.
Yep.
There's Gotham Girl there.
Yeah. Who we've never seen a dark turn from her before.
Yeah, not yet. And then there's Skeets, who has always been like on the verge of, is he evil?
He's hell, essentially.
Yeah. So he's there. We got, I think Riddler is there.
Riddler and Joker.
I
would say the biggest, like, what? Is Thomas Wayne Batman.
Yeah. I still don't know. But, I mean, there's still stuff to come.
Yes. And that is where it ends, with her kneeling before Bane and Bane saying, the bat is broken. So that is his checkmate there. That's where we're going to leave this. There's been 10 issues since. And from what I've heard, the 60th or 59th issue ends on a cliffhanger with Thomas Wayne Batman.
Okay.
So we are getting a revelation on that, but we're not diving into that. That'll be next Batyear. We're going to end on a solid 50. So that's it. That is finished for now. Oh,
I don't think there's any more.
we drank it all?
We drank it all.
Oh man, honeymoon's over.
So, Dave,
Yes.
what do you think of this wrap up of this whole King work?
As I said earlier, I liked every trade more than the one before it, I feel like.
Okay.
To varying degrees, but I think it got stronger as it went on.
Mm-hmm.
It started off a little unsure of itself,
Mm-hmm.
and then quickly picked up the pace,
Mm-hmm.
and I really liked the new direction that he took it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought his interpretation of Batman is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a interpretation that doesn't get examined very much. That Batman is a very broken, traumatized
Mm-hmm.
individual who only like exists through the methods that he's made for himself to keep sane.
Uh-huh.
And like the ultimate takeaway is that it would be hell being Batman. Like
Oh my God,
it does.
yeah.
He does not paint it in a glorious light.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he does find this companionship in Selina is interesting.
Yeah.
He's still himself, but there is a chance for happiness.
Mm-hmm.
And then we end with it being taken away. And I'm curious to see where it goes from there. I
Yeah.
feel like it's going to get really dark, as if we haven't got that yet. But we've still had a lot of fun. Some of the most fun that Batman has ever been
Right.
in this too.
Yeah.
So overall, I really like it.
Yeah, me too. I just as you when you said that because you were ahead of me in reading, when you said you liked every trade more than the last, I was like, okay. And I did see that a build in from like 1, 2, and 3. I wasn't a huge fan of Jokes and Riddles.
Mm.
I didn't dislike it. There were parts in it I did like.
Yeah.
And then I did like all the Catwoman and Batman stuff for like trades 5, 6, and 7. Thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And I did read on after 50 for like a few issues, the whole 12 Angry Men Batman thing.
Yep.
I did like that. It's like it kind of plays down after this big, huge peak of something, and then it starts kind of over again. It's going to build up again. But
I like that every arc is something different.
yeah.
You know, and sometimes like the artist changes and it matches the tone, but like we get a fun little Indiana Jones adventure with Selina going to Talia with Joella Jones.
Yep.
And then we get like this horrible futuristic issue with Booster Gold. We get like a fun date night. Like it's all over the place. The first 3 felt very much like a trilogy to me.
Yeah.
And then from there, it kind of went on these little like fun chunks.
Yes, I agree. I would definitely suggest Tom King's run. There's a lot of people that don't like it, and maybe they're just looking for more of the action-y adventure type stuff, and not so much inward looking towards Batman. But
a very introspective Batman.
Yeah, at the age I'm at now, I think this is way more interesting than just another swashbuckling adventure. Even though I appreciate those.
Yeah, and they do drop them in, but it's not what the whole run is based on.
Right. Well, folks, if you have been keeping up to speed with Tom King's run, let us know down below what you think. If you'd like to keep the conversation going, you can join us at Patreon.
That's right.
Where we do a twice monthly podcast and an upcoming book club of some sorts.
That's right. We're ironing out the details.
And
But you're going to want to be there for it.
Yeah, and a slew of other things as well. That's pretty much it. It was good.
It was a ride. Yeah. So we're going to do one more, a whole Batyear wrap-up of the entire event. Our 4-month endeavor that we did.
Yes.
But stay tuned for that. It's going to be dropping later this week. So that'll do it.
That'll do it. So, Dave.
Troy.
I've been Troy to the Max Extreme.
I've been Ghost Hunter Dave.
And together, nuptially, we are IMPERIUS REX.
That's right.
And we'll see you next time.
If it hits my computer or anything in here,
I'll aim it towards a
aim it like at the door.
stucco ceiling.
Yeah, ceiling's good. It's not gonna overflow. Not gonna like fizz up, is it?
I haven't shaken it or anything like that.
All right. Harkens back to the Grant Morrison. This is normal.
Okay, we ready?
Yep.
And we'll get one shot of the pop.
All right.
Oh god. Oh god.
Crazy thing is, the girl that I'm borrowing this from has huge boobs.
Oh, then they must
So-
have been.
I don't know what's going on here.
Well, there's like a little pocket for them.
I know.
It's
got
like those
nothing to fill
boxers
it.
with like a dick pocket.
Yeah. It's exactly like that.
All right.
All right, we ready?